Hey guys, so I know we've been a bit behind. There's been a lot of tons of things going on, but for Fan Question Friday, we're finally circling back around to those fan questions. Also, anyone with any new questions, feel free to ask them in the comments below. So this is from Ms. Mode. This is for both of us. She has a few questions. Question one: is there a fandom that you regretted being a part of and stayed in too long? I'll go first.
Yeah, I think you have a better response for this one.
Okay. Um, technically, in terms of heavy investment, other than The Walking Dead, the only other fandom I've actually been in is Buffy and Angel, a fandom that I started in high school and lasted well after the show was over. I'm actually still part of that fandom. I'm one of the admins for the biggest Buffy Facebook group. Facebook group. Sorry, I'm tired.
It's been a
Um,
long weekend, folks.
I spent hours and I've written hundreds of. Okay, I don't know. I can't. I'm not gonna actually remember. I've written a lot of fanfic for that show and the characters, and I got heavily into Spike's head and into his voice. And do I have regrets? No. Without that fandom led to this fandom. So no, I don't have any regrets. Fandom is basically just an art community technically to be part of. So I don't think there's a particular reason why one should feel bad about it. Although I know there's some people who kind of go overboard, but that could be with anything. So I personally don't feel bad about it or have any regrets. And I'm really thankful for that Buffy fandom as well as the Walking Dead fandom and the Rashon fandom.
I My response to that is that no, I haven't been part of like a regretted being part of a fandom or anything like that. I really wasn't part of like a serious fandom before The Walking Dead. Although I will say this, I was part of the fandom of Banshee,
Were
which
you?
yeah, I was. I like engaged in the live chats and
I
stuff,
didn't know
and
that.
yeah, like everybody watching right now has no idea what I'm talking about. Banshee, it's my other favorite show besides The Walking Dead.
Even as my mom watching it now.
Nobody's ever fucking heard of it. That's because it was on Cinemax, which is the channel that people think that you go to for softcore porn. So it ended last year. It's the only other show that I've ever been like a true obsessed like nerd about, and it like is like my mission in life to get everybody to watch The Walking Dead and Banshee. Those are my two shows that I like have to get everybody that I know to watch. I got Jill actually to watch Banshee
And Jill's mom.
and Jill's mom. And
You're,
yay, nay, what do you think?
well, yeah, I like it. I like it. I liked it. I like it.
Oh, come on, give it a better review than that.
It's I mean, yeah, it's really great acting, really unique characters and situations, a lot of diversity. Like it hits all the points. The first season is ridden with sex because
The first
they
season's
were
rough,
they were
yeah.
trying to keep up with the core audience of Cinemax instead of trying to find new audience members. I guess I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah. Well, it was originally written for HBO, and then they like switched it at the last second to go to Cinemax, and Cinemax is owned by HBO. But it's a long story. But anyway, I love that show because the theme of it is about change and how difficult it is to change, which is a subject that is near and dear to my heart. So that will always be a show that is very close to me. So.
Okay. Is there a fandom for whatever reason you wish you were a part of in the past but never got into? Um,
No. um, which is sort of a dumb. I mean, I feel like a hypocrite even saying this because, like, I used to judge people who would dress up as vampires and stand outside for the premiere of like, the Twilight movies.
ugh.
I made so much fun of those people, and I feel like a total asshole now, and I am sorry. If any of you were Twilighters,
Twihards?
Twihards,
I think that's
I
what they're called.
apologize. I am a hypocrite. I am no better. I dress like the main character from a show who kills about killing zombies. So there's absolutely no reason why you guys are being ridiculous. It's like it's just one of those things that You either get into something or you don't, and I never got into any other fandoms the same way that I did with The Walking Dead and Banshee. You just either like something or you don't.
Well, I will say there are two fandoms that I wish I had gotten into, and like, I really loved Queer as Folk, the U.S. version. At the time it came out, I was in high school. It was that and Sex and the City were out at about the same time. I really love the show. Like, that's one of the few shows that I will rewatch more than once. But anyway, like, I didn't do like fanfic for it or like get on any chats or anything. I was still like really, I mean, a lot of my free time was tied up with Buffy. And when I say tied up, 2 years in a row I missed between 20 and 22 days of school respectively because I stayed up all night reading fan fiction.
What? Oh, she's never told me this before.
Oh, yeah, I didn't.
Explain yourself.
So
you missed 3 weeks of school?
Not all at once.
Okay, but 22 days of school is like 3 weeks.
Well, at the end of for a whole academic year, not like 3 weeks in one go.
I know, but you missed 3 weeks worth of school.
I would be reading, and then I was like, "Oh no, the sun's up. I have to go to second period." And it's like, "Oh no, I can't because I gotta go to bed." That being said,
that's awesome.
I kept my grades up. I was still on the honor roll.
That's
I just
all that matters at the
fucking,
end of the day.
No, the best part is that my mom would write me notes. I was like, "Mom, I'm too tired to go to school. I can't go today."
I mean, if you were still getting good grades, that's all that matters. I mean,
yeah, I was like I was like obsessed with reading fanfic and then writing fan fiction. That's actually how I got back into writing, was writing fanfic, and two, I had people at school would ask me to write like real person fic. So like this one fanfic, this girl paid me to write a fan fiction with Britney Spears and Eliza Dushku. And that was like the first work I was ever paid for.
Wow.
I don't care about that at all. It was just a matter of doing the work and getting paid. Oh, I feel like such a whore.
Yeah, fandom and fandoms. What?
Sorry, I can't believe I just said that. Oh, and Arrested Development. I didn't get into that fandom, and I wish I had, because it's so small.
Fandom and fandoms, it's a weird thing because I think that people, they get passionate about a certain show or topic because it relates to them on a personal level. I mean, I think that like you don't really become part of a fandom unless there's like a character on the show or whatever it is, a book, or whatever. Unless there's like a character within that element that you just like understand on a guttural level, like that's the reason why I love The Walking Dead, right? It's because like, and I think most people love The Walking Dead, it's like this, after the first episode you are like on board with Rick, like you understand him, he's a good dude, and you like want him to you understand where he's coming from, you like want to see him find his family because you like him. Same thing with Banshee. That show's a little bit more complicated in terms of like the themes and how it changes throughout the seasons. And like for me, it's more about like just like how difficult it is to change as a person, which is like a really complicated topic. And I like the fact that they explore that in a excruciating and guttural level. And in like really interesting ways. I think those elements of like an issue that people are struggling with, that's what creates a fandom. It's illustrating something that somebody is going through that a lot of people can relate to. And when people see that and they are like, I've gone through that, or I know exactly how they feel, that's what gets a lot of fans. I think that's like kind of like where fandom comes from. That's just my own personal opinion.
Also, the fanfic.
I didn't even know what fan fiction was until I met her. that was a term that I'd never heard of. It makes sense. I just never heard of it.
It really builds a community, and what's so tantalizing about fanfic is because maybe the episode didn't go how you wanted to. Maybe they haven't done what you wanted to happen. So fanfic opens that door.
You can write
fix it.
the end. Yeah.
So that's what appeals to me as both a reader and a writer. I haven't read anything in such a super long time because I've been like, it's been really hectic. I haven't even had time to write anything, and I apologize to anybody who's following that Sasha and Negan in particular, and any of my Rashon stuff that I haven't finished yet. It's like a guilty pleasure. People hate to love it, but then they do. Like, that's most of the comments. I'm so mad you wrote this. Where's the rest of it? I promise I'll come back to it. But yeah, I think that it's, especially when it's well done. What I'll say is this, as a writer but also as a reader, if you are enjoying someone's fanfic and you know they do like other stuff too, like other original work, support them, so that I mean, fan fiction is a hobby, but still, you know, it takes time to craft that out and do things. And you know, authors need love, especially indie authors, because a lot of the fanfic authors, at least in the Buffy fandom, are indie authors as well, myself included. So I would just say, support the arts, support the authors.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually, I mean,
even if it's just a Facebook page,
we'll do another video about this, but like, we talked to Scott Gimple. I'm sure you guys know after the photo that we posted, but like, we had like a 15-minute conversation with Scott Gimple, and like, he really did like a good job of explaining to us just like how difficult it is to make one of these shows. Like, I don't think that like most people really get it. Like, I studied film for like about a year before I changed my major and went into marketing, so like I kind of had an idea, but like hearing it from like an executive producer on literally the most famous show of all time, of all time, like that is not an overstatement. It is the most watched show in the world in the history of cable television.
Well, cable television, yeah, because apparently MASH is the most watched show, something.
Well, but that was international, though. This is.
It wasn't?
So I don't think so.
I really don't know.
Maybe I'm wrong. I'm willing to bet that The Walking Dead is the most watched show in the history of TV. Hearing the perspective of like somebody who makes that show, really interesting. I mean, like, it's fucking hard, and there's so many things that go into it. I mean, it literally takes like close to 1,000 different people to create that 45-minute increment of film that you're watching. You have to have the writers, and you have to have the storytellers, and you have to have the showrunner, and you have to have the producers, and the people who scout out the locations, and the prop design people, and the costuming people, and the special effects people who make sure that everybody's safe during the gunfighting scenes, and the people who research and figure out how to make everything accurate within the context of the scene. And like, it just goes on and on and on and on and on. It's so complex, it's insane. And most people just don't notice that. That's why there's like entire jobs when you like look through the credits that just seem ridiculous. Like you'll if you actually watch the credits, you'll see things like assistant prop designing tech. It's like, what does that even mean? I don't know. It's somebody who does props, but apparently it's a full-time gig because it's so difficult to even just do that little element of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hard making good stuff. It's really hard. That's why most shows kind of suck, in my opinion. Like, I don't think there's a whole lot of good TV out there. I think there's a hell of a lot more than there was 10 or even 15 years ago. But, like, I still think that, like, there's not a whole lot of good TV. Shows like The Walking Dead that are that well done are still pretty rare.
I mean, the quality has changed in the last
decade. It has gone
decade.
Up. Yeah, it has gone way, way up. Wow. Which I think HBO had a big part to do with that, too, with The Sopranos. They were kind of like the first, like, premium network that, like, did a real drama. And we're getting, like, so off topic, but whatever.
We're really off. Let's bring it back. I was looking at Ms. Mode's final question, which is, if you could have a character from one fandom be in The Walking Dead, who would it be, in what season, good or bad person, and who would you want them to interact with the most? Right? That's
wow. Oh my god.
That's a doozy, Ms. Mode. Thank you. You want to go first, or?
No, I don't want to go first.
you know,
Your answer's going to be, hold on, I know what her answer's going to be. Abraham, right? In Fear the Walking Dead?
no.
That's what you want to see.
That's not what she's saying. She's saying you could have one character from any fandom be in The Walking Dead.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I misunderstood the context of the question.
So I'll go first.
You go first.
My knee-jerk reaction is Spike. My knee-jerk reaction
I
is
have to do that. I always give her
Spike.
shit about Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I know. Well, I mean, it would be hard because he's a vampire, so that complicates things being in the sunlight. But killing the undead, and they wouldn't even go for him. He'd be such a great walker killer because he would never get attacked because he doesn't smell fresh. In terms of characters who I would want him to interact with the most, probably Michonne, because she's very reminiscent to me of like a Slayer, to the point where I would love if Joss Whedon did like a Tales of the Slayers film type thing where each film was different but about a different Slayer and different point in history, and two, having Danae star as Nikki Wood, the Slayer from the 70s, who Spike actually kills. Spoiler alert, like if you've never seen the show. But she has a very fascinating story and is the only Slayer to have been documented to have a child or something. Anyway, off topic.
I have an answer to that question now. Go ahead.
No, okay, no, that's it.
Okay.
Oh, no. No, go ahead.
Okay. My answer to that question is going back to Banshee. Lucas Hood. I would love to see him interact with Rick just because there are several things.
You just want to see Anthony Starr playing against...
No, I don't want to see him against him. I want to see him working with him.
No, I mean playing off each other.
Yeah, I mean, like, so
I do too.
Everybody who doesn't know who Anthony Starr is, he's another foreign actor. He's New Zealander, and like he's actually really similar to Andrew Lincoln in terms of like not even just like the way that he looks, but also like the style. He's really, really good at like those emotional scenes and just like the intensity of like emotional scenes and conveying emotion and that kind of thing. And it just so happens that his character on Banshee possesses like all of the skills that Rick really needs right now in this situation with Negan. I'm not going to go into it because I want all of you to watch Banshee to see what I'm talking about. But Lucas Hood is kind of like the he can do things that would really, really, really help Rick with the war right now. Mm-hmm. And he's just another one of my favorite actors who put up with like grueling conditions to make that show. I mean, like he got like injured on the first day of shooting and had to get like stitches and stuff. Much like Andrew Lincoln, he like has sacrificed himself for a long period of time to do a show. And so that's what I'd like to see.
I realized who the other person was. I couldn't remember. And that character is Walter White! Walter freaking White, my God. I would love to see Bryan Cranston on this show as anything, interacting with anyone, but I would love to see Heisenberg.
It's not pronounced like that.
Oh, just leave me alone. Let me have this.
Good Lord.
I'd love to see Walter White. Okay, he died or whatever. But fantasy cast. In terms of who I would want him to interact with, I'd love to see him with Negan, and obviously Rick. But I'd also like to see how what would he do to Negan? How much fuckery would Walt put on Negan? Yeah,
Walter White is a master negotiator, so like it would be really interesting to watch him try and negotiate with Negan. I mean, like,
did he negotiate or threaten him?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I just want to see like how they would act towards one another if they like had to deal or whatever.
He could bullshit his way through like, you can say what you want, Negan, but you don't do what I ask.
Yeah.
I won't give you the antidote to the poison I just slipped you. And he'll be like, what? And he'll be like, yes. And he can talk about how he made this fancy poison, whether or not he made it or not, who knows. And then Negan will have to sit there and guess if he's slowly dying or not. And then Walt will just smile at him. Now you ready to talk
I
business?
don't know though. Negan's pretty smart. I feel like he would be able to call him on his bullshit. He's really good at reading people.
Walt is better at hiding.
Really?
He was the master manipulator. He manipulated everyone.
Yeah.
Except for Skylar. But
I can see both sides.
he threatened drug lords. Walt has the biggest brass balls of
That's true. He does have.
He doesn't give any fucks.
Well, yeah, of course, because he knows he's gonna die. He has 0 fucks to give.
I have nothing to lose. He'll talk in that low Bryan Cranston-y voice and lean in on. I would love to see that. Please, AMC, get Bryan Cranston on this show, even if it's just a guest appearance.
And you know what? It would even make sense because they've done.
AMC.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, there's the blue meth, which shows up in The Walking Dead. Okay, there's a direct reference to Breaking Bad in The Walking Dead. Daryl, for those of you who don't remember, there's a scene, I think it's season 2, where they're looking for antibiotics.
Yeah.
They're looking for antibiotics for T-Dog.
It's season 1.
Okay. Dale
has it.
Yeah, Dale is like,
Right.
we have to get you some antibiotics to T-Dog because he had a cut on his arm.
Oh wait, maybe it is season 2 and they just find Merle's stash.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Oh, whatever. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but there's a scene where T-Dog gets a really nasty cut on his arm and Dale's like, we got to get you some antibiotics. And Daryl's like, oh, Merle's stash. And he takes this bag out and it's got antibiotics and a bunch of other stuff and blue meth, which has never been seen or heard of in any other universe except for Breaking Bad. It's definitely from Breaking Bad. They even made another reference to it when he actually said to some, I don't even remember who he was talking to, but Daryl said that the dealer that
called people a bitch.
Yeah, the dealer that
Jesse.
Yeah, that Merle used to buy from. He's like some skinny white tweaker dude used to call people a bitch. I mean, who else could they be talking about, right? They're talking about Breaking Bad. Walter White could be in The Walking Dead. They're in the same universe and the same car. Glenn drives that same car out of Atlanta.
I will also take Aaron Paul. I will also take Saul Goodman. Bob Odenkirk. I would take any. It was
hilarious.
I would take. I can't think of his name. The actor who played Gustavo. He doesn't have to play Gustavo. Obviously, he could be some other character, but he's an amazing actor.
Yeah, he's amazing too.
Esposito.
I don't know his
Giancarlo
name.
Esposito. It was such an amazing vast cast on Breaking Bad. I would literally take any of those actors and put them on The Walking Dead. So, that's off topic, but yeah. So Ms. Mode, thank you for your brilliant question.
Is there more to that, or is that?
That was the last one.
Okay.
She has another question from a different. We're getting around to the other questions as well. We're having a queue. So thank you for joining us for this Fan Question Friday.
Yes, and so that brings up an important point. So we're going to be doing this and releasing it on every Friday. So if you guys have questions, or you just want to talk about anything, or just say
any
hi,
questions,
whatever.
I can't promise we'll answer all of them.
Right, shoot it to us, and we will be releasing the responses on every single Friday. But in the meantime, if you guys like what we have to say, or if you just like anything that we do, go ahead and follow us on Instagram at RLRashone, on Facebook.com/TheLivingRashone, at YouTube.com/JillRoby, and
subscribe button.
And coming soon, TheLivingRashone.com, where we're going to have blog posts about everything Walking Dead related and other pop culture things, with surprises included.
I just want to say, shout out to my Rashoners. We have an exclusive shirt coming. I'm sorry, I had to say it.
Do.
Spoiler alert. It's an amazing design. He designed it.
Oh, stop.
It's really great. I'm in love with it. Just a little.
I'm glad you like it. Hopefully you guys like it too when we release it. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.